When Missouri defensive tackle Darius Robinson was named a captain for the 2022 season, he sought out teammate Martez Manuel for advice. When things are not going your way, Robinson said he asked the senior safety, "How do you rally the group?" The gist of Manuel's answer, Robinson said, was, "As a leader, you are responsible for everybody." Robinson asked the right person. He also learned about the difficulty of backs against the wall captaincy, the value of tailoring mentorship to individuals, and the successes and failures of leaders past. Manuel, who is Missouri's only second-year captain in a group of 8 elected leaders for this season, has the experience to supplement his counsel. MU defensive coordinator Blake Baker tabbed Manuel for a different reason, to play the lead part in his new play. Baker plans to use Manuel as his starter at the star position, a versatile safety connecting the defensive front to the secondary, with the freedom to operate as the play at hand demands. Manuel will debut in that role Thursday when the Tigers open their season at home against Louisiana Tech. Well, for several reasons. He really does a phenomenal job out there in leading the defense, Baker said. That position kinda gets us set, so he does a great job of everything kind of running through him, but he isn't just a captain. As his high school coach Van Venata said, he's also a hell of a football player. Baker said Manuel reminds him of former University of Texas, New Orleans Saints and Tennessee Titans safety Kenny Vaccaro, who he saw while serving as a graduate assistant for the Longhorns. High praise, but he thinks Manuel can do it all, which is what the new job requires. He's kind of what you want in that position, Baker said. He's fast enough to cover slots, he's physical enough to play in the box, he's a really, really good blitzer. I know he did a bunch of that last year, so he fits the bill. Manuel said there's still things he's learning about the new position, but if his captaincy is the aptitude test, he catches on fast. He said Baker has emphasized the need to slow down the game, to let the situation talk to you. It's a difficult adjustment, but who better to turn to than the player who led the Tigers through their most difficult period last season? It was patently clear in the young days of the season where Missouri's glaring weakness was in 2021. In Week 1, Central Michigan rushed for 174 yards. The next week, Kentucky ran for 333. Southeast Missouri State scampered 294 in Week 3. At an average of 267 yards per game, MU was an FBS bottom dweller in stopping the run. Rather than let critics scream into the void and let the poison fester, Manuel got up to do what Missouri hadn't managed much of to that point. Ahead of the Boston College matchup in Week 4, he said the defensive woes had become a point of restoring pride, and that he was looking forward to him and his teammates shutting everybody up. He put the slow start on his shoulders, and said he was taking steps to better the team. It took a while until Manuel and Missouri got any real vindication, 7 games later, in fact, when the Tigers beat South Carolina to renew hopes of a bowl game berth. But when he did, he revealed more of the woes he and his teammates had been through. Social media was difficult to look at, he said after the Gamecocks game, making it hard to keep a positive frame of mind. More recently, he's alluded to a fractured locker room that needed careful leadership. "I learned a lot last year," Manuel said. "I told the guys this year that I was super happy for them that they're captains, but I also told them that it's one of the hardest things you're going to do. It's not all fun and games. Sometimes you've got to be the bad guy, sometimes you've got to do what's best for the group, and maybe it goes against one of your best friends, but that's what's best for the team and that's what comes first." He learned that earlier than most. Venata, who coached Manuel at Rockbridge High in Columbia, has watched him make sacrifices for the greater good in real time. As the Bruins began on a playoff run in Manuel's senior year, they took the opening kickoff. Venata called the play. If the returner dropped out of the middle, Manuel and another teammate were on him. That's what transpired, and as offense and defense met, the returner slid, Manuel tackled, helmets collided, and Manuel was ejected. It became possible that Manuel had made his final appearance for Rockbridge. The Bruins advanced, but an ejection in high school carries a full game suspension. After appeals returned empty, Venata sat Manuel down in his office and broke the bad news. His captain was devastated, but only for a moment. I just said to him, what I need more from you than anything else, I need you to be our leader. I need you to be our scout team guy. I need you to just fly around and make it tough on everyone, said Vanatta, now the head coach at Macon High. And I tell you what, that week of practice was unbelievable. And during the game, instead of sitting around pouting, he was jumping up and down, he was coaching guys on the field. We ended up winning and he got another opportunity to play. A lot of kids would have cowered down, a lot of kids would have been upset, he added. That moment that we left my office, it was like he was on top of the world. Fast forward 4 years, and some of Manuel's Missouri teammates call him Rock Bridge legend, Robinson said. But the defensive tackle, now fully immersed in his own role as a captain, still calls Manuel Cap, and for a single reason. With a heavy emphasis on the he's the captain, Robinson said. 2 days before the start of the season, the Missouri defense added another Power 5 transfer. Marcus Clark, a sophomore cornerback at Miami and former starter for the Hurricanes, committed to the Tigers on Tuesday while on a campus visit. He announced his verbal pledge on Twitter. Clark's commitment reunites him with Baker, who held the same position at Miami during Clark's freshman season in 2020. Clark, from Winter Park, Florida, was a 3-star prospect in 2020. He appeared in 6 games as a freshman in 2020 and 12 games last year, including 4 starts. By signing this late into the fall semester, Clark would likely need a waiver to secure eligibility for the 2022 season, similar to the process Mizzou linebacker Chuck Hicks went through last fall when he transferred from Wyoming.